All right, and welcome to another episode of Hempire. Once again, I am Pete Bahrenburg. Along with me, as always, co-host, CEO, and founder of PureWell, Nick DiFrancesco. What's up, my man?
Well, Humphrey, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good, man. It was eventful. Ate a lot,
Exactly.
slept a lot, drank a lot, and did it all over again. So it's a good weekend. How about yourself?
Good and fitting. It's keep it the same thing, over the holidays. We get to enjoy, friends and family. So it's always a good time. But we have
Speaking of,
a very good friend of mine, actually, Burak King here. And a very long time friend of mine, and I'm really excited to have him. To be honest with you, and want to get into a bunch of stuff. So, and I want to tell everybody.
I mean, he is an IFBB pro. He also is the health and wellness coach and not co-founder, but he is the founder of Grow Healthy, a meal plan business.
Which
and
is actually very.
I understand, and I know they're good because he's filling up gyms, and we're talking with Burak King. What's up, man? Doing good, Burak. How you doing?
Yeah, good. So, So I I know Burak for I don't even know. I mean, it's 7 years now. Actually, we're roommates. I mean, we've done, got me into shape, then I got out of shape. Now I'm trying to get myself back into shape. But I was with Burak for a long time before he, basically got his claim to fame now, which is in an Olympia. He's got an awesome fitness plan growing at a height. We used to eat all the time. I got to get back on it because I'm getting hairy. And I was so obviously here. Tell us a little bit about how you would tell everybody about how you made that decision, because you were playing football for a bit. I know you always train. But what made you say, look, I want to take it to the next level. I want to go, be an Olympia or be a pro, right? Yes. Because when I remember we were at amateur.
I remember stuff. I think want to play football after I got hurt. And it was really for something sports. You're off much taller goal where you're like, what do I do now? But for me, it was first get better, get my knee back. We have my knee get healthy and strong again. And then after that, I was going to the gym, and we're off. I'm happy to drive. I was in working or something. I was maybe I should just do the bodybuilding, Yeah, I look better.
That's all right. You'll have that little vanity here and there.
My first show, I'm most Eastern. For me, I can't find it. What am I doing? So after my first show, I got third place. After the judges were like, "Where's your coach?" We both right, you would have won the show. I'm really?
Yeah.
So, I want to try it again and see if I can.
This is when he had long hair, by the way. Long hair.
My man was pulling Fabio looks.
He had Fabio hair.
Anyway, 3 shows later, I was all my foot bars without start getting to really start leveling. And then got my pro card in 2020. And it was a thinking period.
We tell people that. We'll get back up because it's not, what he said, though. We did try to show that. It's not that easy at all. Matter of fact, I had the real last year after 52 things like that. And it's hard work. It's not a joke. These guys all lotion tested. Some hate, right? But this is not an easy test to begin with. There are a lot of people do these shows that never become we were to stay at talent. But how hard he was. And so
What kind of training is in between these shows? Well, I should say length. I should say length in between each show. Because you do a separate kind of training or preparedness right when you're in competition mode.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I was in the citizen, so I couldn't do
what? There was that.
Speed bump.
I couldn't do a national show, and on my prepared national show, I have to do international show, or the Olympia amateur or something big show where all international athletes and the program. So, fine. I do the Iron Rapids guys, being my second time around after 4 international shows. I got with Program after 2 years or so.
Everyone, he's from Turkey. So, here, a Turkish relationship, and then obviously, which is so funny because you played FAU sport, you played football for, and then at the United States, you went to year for year, and let's be honest, it was by Burak's fault, on his own fault, because they used to have a citizenship. Because sister had a citizenship like 10 years before it, or 15. So it's not like he was some illegal.
Better late than never.
Hold on, we can get around it.
I just do.
We're a good friend. Which is
15 years.
we're married.
Right.
Your paper was just sitting there. It's like, how did it? But
It's like, stamps aren't 22 cents anymore.
So yeah, and look, the thing is that I've noticed with you is, you asked about training. So training is totally different where he is now. It's kind of like when you watch football. You have somebody that's Little League, Pee Wee, and then they go to like middle school and high school. The level of training, the level of dedication has to be ramped up. It's just not the same. So you were training, but nothing, like you were asking, nothing like he's at this. I mean, you were still going to the gym, that stuff, and it wasn't nowhere near where you're at this level of the dedication. I mean, talk about it. So your goal was Olympia, right? And this year you went to your Olympia. I'll talk about that, but tell people how that is. It's not like we get one show and you qualified, right? But you did it a little different. You outworked all your competition. You went on points, and you traveled all over the world, and for a little bit out there.
So basically, you have to hit the show. Like they're all honored in the pop by points. They fit top athletes and the award. I'm just baseball
In the world.
So I started competing in like May. I had it again. Didn't land the place high enough to like people wanted to try to win the show, but I competed with top guys, and I was placing high enough to
Hang with the big boys.
all right, like didn't get the one to be off back week on whatever. But I started getting points, and then after the show I got 2 points off by 3 points. 2 points like so after like 6 or 7 shows I was like in the middle of their point system. I was still like, hey, like I could win the shovel and I can't stop now, So I was like, let me just do another one. And then I was like, you let me do another one. And then, I kept flying until here I was like the top 4 guy point, the top 4 in points.
Right.
And I was like, I can't stop now. So I ended up doing 15 shows for the whole year.
Which is by far more than you've ever done.
Or like 200, but actually, more than any was done. I think I broke the record actually, but I people no, seriously, shoots. I won, but like, and then when I went to Olympia, like all these guys who won the show, and people like John Nicklin Dave was like the 4th time Olympian. Like these guys grew who I was, and they weren't like, okay, you didn't even win the show, and you by points. Like, I had more respect than any of the guys that won the show, but they're like, you were dedicating them. Like, they kind of got motivated by my dedication to letting us, like, which I kept going the whole year,
Right.
But it was cool for him to know who I was.
Right.
And I was like, wow, like, I looked up to him when I started.
Yeah.
It's funny because because Burak and I went to an Olympia. Well, we went to Olympia. We went to amateur. Like he actually competed, and this was two years before. 2 or 3 years, 2 years. And so it was kind of cool. Like we were meeting these guys, and we were saying hi to them and what's up, kind of as a fan, right? 2 years ago. And so, this is Journey, and this is Andre, and all these different people. And it was kind of funny because now, one thing Burak, is like Ryan Terry. We're still left Lion Terry. And it's kind of like if anyone could remember, you looking up to Michael Jordan, right? And now right next to him, your phone. You know, if that type of level, and you're playing it in a short amount of time. And look, this is not easy. This is not like, oh, well, you just diet and goes regen. This is a ridiculous rest. I mean, he could look. There was one time we were in Vegas after that weekend. You know, I had flew in a couple of days. He had come in a couple of days before me, and then I came in. I saw Burak look like crazy. Because you have to literally not drink any water. I mean, that's what I mean. I don't think people understand the prep this takes. So he basically is drinking 2 gallons of water for a week or 10 days before. Then he completely has to stop all water. And what is the one thing that you would never want when you're so thirsty and the mouth is dry? He goes, yeah, all I have are these rice cakes to get me. So imagine you're like so dry and you have these rice cakes and you're eating them, and yeah. So there's a lot of torture that goes into it, and I say torture and that's why they restrict it, because this is not your body. You're pushing your body limit, but you're pushing your mental. You know, you're inside of like what your body predicted, because remember, your body is going to do whatever it is to make it easiest for you, even when you're working out. And Burak will tell you, if you're struggling on an exercise, your other muscles are going to compensate to make it easier for you. Your body's telling you, no, like stop, like shut down, drink water, eat food, whatever.
Be an adult.
And it's not. So it's pretty crazy. Now, obviously, we have cannabis show. So tell us a little bit about, you know, how cannabis has been in your life, what you use to try to get through it, because obviously you can't drink during the lab, right? Your body's in pain, you have inflammation. So tell us kind of the connection with cannabis and more.
I mean, like their body's going through like tremendous amount of stress just from like the workout. Just everything, party on, something goes to leave. You know, your body's just like under a lot of stress. So for me, force helpful, like at night, help me go to sleep easier, or it's like something like joint pain. You know, if I have something like, I was feeling late day that day, I might, in this country, I have like, you know, a lot of issues.
Yeah, so what happened? You tore your ACL?
Yeah, right, it's inside, body and right knee. So that's CBD, or you know, really good for the leg.
You used to roll on in the massage.
Yeah.
And I know you were trying it purely.
Yeah, search really help. And then before I work out, so I put that on there. It's easier for me to have more flexibility in my knee. No practice.
Right, yeah. No, I can at least it's noticeable. And that's kind of why I thought it was so great when I had somebody that was a real athlete and is working out, so they're using the parts and go, I think it works. Yes, good the cups. So I thought that was amazing. And that's why I think that even motivated me too, to make a better sound, to make a better crowd and things like that. And I
believe it was sleep. Like your body is like not wanting to sleep at times when you're watching stress. So it's like you take the after sleep or the CBD oil. It's like relax your body, whereas we want stress out so much, and you must relax. This helps you fall asleep easier. And everyone knows like sleep is very important for the recovery. Girl, do you sleep long? Because right must take the so else very important for me to get the proper.
You notice you see what different, like if you're, you know, you sleep, you don't sleep. I mean, you feel it. You must.
You have to. You sleep. They cover by that paper for to be more crazy.
I don't think people really understand how, like, you know, and there's like, well, I'm a 4 hour a night warrior or 6 hours. And look, I get it, but your body does not get, like, your body does not want that or want it. And little things you might not notice at first. You'll drink coffee or you'll do something to say, well, I drank coffee, you know, I'll be okay for today. But you're starting to get a little more irritable. You start forgetting things. You start like little things like that, and you start a little harder to keep your concentration. Then you talk about something where you're putting your body under stress. But wasn't just maybe you're not a pro athlete that's putting your body on every single day lifting weights, but look, you got stress in life, family, you got relationships, you got business, you got bills, and that stress and that cortisone levels and all that stuff that, you know, that sleep is like a reprieve for your body. It's that
it gives you right. You need that break and try to bring you back down to normalcy.
Right. And I think that's why the pure sleep was such a big deal in the beginning, or why it kind of helped us. Now, obviously you have that, and then you have your meal plan, you do training as well, right? So you do so Go Healthy meal plans is how old?
They're from almost 5 years.
Oh, here, right. That's what I got. Okay.
Awesome.
And I'll be honest with you, the food really is delicious. It's so funny because when I do recommend it to somebody, they're like, oh, these meal plans, they're, it's either dry food or
bland
food. It actually, so Burak used to do the prep in my house, I learned how to meal prep through Burak, right? But he always just knew how to cook. I mean, whatever you cooked, it was good. And it would be the simplest thing. It could be chicken breast. It's usually like super dry, and I hate chicken breast. No, but you need it moist, and there's a lot of seasoning on it that you do. So tell us a little bit about how you tailor or why you look at meals and give it. You use certain ones for certain people on it, and what are you looking for then in getting something more kind of way?
Yeah, we have like a one menu for our regular clients. We have several items a week. You have to do that. But I started getting into the competitors where they could order their meal out of town, or if they come into town from another city or state, they could, when they get to their competition, you eat well. We started feeling it with competitors, and we throw it on our news. We customize things too, like you don't have to be an athlete or competitor. You need to be someone who follows a strict real-fire from a coach. With it, I have a lot of trainers. She sent me their lifestyle clients. We just put their meals for them and then deliver it to their house directly.
And when we're talking lifestyle, we're saying lifestyle, meaning like you could have, with the diabetes, you could have some type of other, reason why you need to eat a certain way.
Cholesterol issue.
Cholesterol issue goes, I should have said.
It's all right.
Something like
here to help you along.
So, it doesn't mean that you have to be a pro to have these meals.
Or really working out.
Or working out.
Someone needs to get healthy, like a fat bastard sitting in a chair all day who hasn't moved, and they're just eating, mac and cheese, McDonald's and shit like that. Well, you know what? I don't know how to cook, but I'm lazy. Let me get someone who can do it for me and drop it off at the door and everything. And all right, that's good, but you're still getting a healthy meal out of it.
Because what do you say? Diet, and knowing from you, right? But let's talk about this. We talk about this all the time about putting the right things to buy. How important is diet? If I worked out like you did every single day, but I did not diet, what's the percentage of the diet? How much is that not?
80%.
80%, people. So don't feel so bad that you don't go to the gym. I'm not saying don't go to the gym, but if you ate differently, you would probably see results tenfold for you ever stepping into that gym. All right. So it's the same with your health, right? What you put in, what you put out. Like putting products in the funny that are processed or, fast food or any of this stuff. Well, they're going to have, they say, more than 80-90% of the conditions out there are, probably 95% of the conditions out there are controlled by your diet. So eat better. Do what's right for your body. And this is a perfect way to do this that you don't have to think about. And it's very affordable. They're not like they're crazy expensive meals. They get delivered right to your door. And you don't have to think about it. And that's why I like the app. Is when we were getting back in that line with you and you were training me and all that stuff, what was so easy is they were like, look, here's your meals, give you the meal plan. But I didn't have to think. I just, boom, I grabbed it. We'd be like every 2-3 hours, every 4 hours in the night, 2-3 hours, right? So I'm eating every 2-3 hours. I don't have to think. The meal plan is in there. It's done for me. I can go on the rest of my day. Because meal prepping, you're good at it, right? For a normal person, it's a pain, right? You usually don't cost it. It's all I need to do. I have to do all. It's all there for you, which I thought was always super interesting here. And they taste good. So I look forward to them. I didn't think. And they're all over here. They're local as well. So you can pick them up at, to our website, of course. And then you get them delivered to your house. But you just think about that and how diet is important mixed with cannabinoid therapy for some inflammation, some better sleep. You'd be right on the way to getting your body to where it needs to be for the new year, for the middle of the year, to the end of the year. It doesn't really matter. You can always start today.
I got to start. I'm going to do something.
You really got to start. And
start with the diet.
Hopefully in South Florida. Can you ship on something for the end or not? Yeah. So you're doing that. Now, they're all organic, right? Like, what were some of the things that
we try to ask? So all the chicken and like the beef proteins are long-bad. It's inch-free chicken. They're not organic. Even when companies, like some companies say they're organic, right? Their vegetables are organic. With their full on life.
That's why if it ain't certified, it ain't organic. Because somewhere down the line, you got something else in it.
Right. So, like, ever say we're all organic, just free of the artisan, tree, vegetables, even our potatoes, everything.
Well, the water that uses the soil that it's on, all that shit. The people that walk in the place got to be checked in.
That's what they did. You ever know about The Rock? The Rock is one of the most kindest, gentlest gentlemen. Like, he's a big teddy bear. He looks big, he's tough and muscular, but I knew so. But he's also always very honest. And he's going to tell you what you need. If your body needs a certain thing, if you do contact block, you're right, babe. He's going to work you through something, and that's why he does so well in this training. He tailors all the training specifically to you. You don't have to be a playing bodybuilder just to build a garage. You could be just a house mom.
It could be Brandon.
You could be Brandon. It could be anybody you want. Brandon, the stuff of our to give them his desire, karate, meal plan, laptop, loves them. So, and you would deliver them to our door, hit our office all the time. So that's huge. But you're doing the training now. Well, you have motivating time, right? Take your off the knee. Yeah, grind.
Yeah. So I have like more time to focus on female. And my new business actually, online coaching.
Okay, cool. So there you go.
So I'm working with that. I can only train a certain amount of people in person. But I could train 100 people.
Right.
Exactly.
So we're going to transition to that. I have over a platform website here, rightfully, with Feeding Dog. And we're just going to help our community.
Well, I think that's a huge deal because now first of all, when you had followers, you went to church, you had a whole following in church, right? Then you said you went to Turkey and then people knew who you were and how still that was. So imagine, being able to touch people all over the world and
I choose a different phrase of words, but, we don't want to say he's just touching people.
This is true. We don't want to go much.
Reaching, though, it's like much better. You can reach, but don't touch. There you go. Influence.
True. No, but it is. That's where the internet connectivity does, because it makes it where you can get to more people off limit. And I think that has been highly successful. I love that they using that. And how do you be? It's simply do person or.
So the overall work just be one-on-one and whether I'll check them with them weekly on phone calls or whichever program they go on. They'll be able to train with me, build enough program.
You'll have certain programs like kind of set, and then you'll be able to work with them. Okay.
At the end of the day, we're trying to reach their goals. So it's like there for them, but whatever goals.
Nice. And that's what I think. Like what we're saying, you have to be. You just want to be getting a little bit in better shape. You might want to just build a little muscle, cut a little fat, be a little more flexible. whatever it is, you don't have to feel like, he's gonna slave drive you into something because you won't be happy. He's gonna tailor, and that was one thing about Burak that at least, he knows, he's burned all sides, right? He wasn't always a pro. He knows what it's like to just be a normal person, and that's he's trying to treat you like that and give me the best man with you possible. So I thought that was powerful. So what's your plans going forward? I mean, you gotta have. We're going back to Olympia, I hope.
I was good. On the three. There you go. My Webster is the win.
There you go.
Let's go.
So yes,
Oh, that's right. Let's go.
for the world, right? So how many people qualify? So Olympia.
Those 68 people this year, the hoppers is a lot.
Which is best sound.
Usually there's like 30 to 40 people every year. This year they have the nose athletes out of Edmonton.
They don't cap it either.
So what is the minimum requirement, or how do they get to that? What would to decide from 30 to 60? Like, we got to let these other guys in. What would be?
You have to win the show.
Oh, okay.
So when they run like 30, 40 on the guys, they do what might be unless in Japan or wherever the show is in the world. They're going against the bad, they'll pick one after for them. So that's why I said all these guys.
Are the Olympia shows, or there any show, but if you win it, you qualify for Olympia? That I never understand. But meaning, because the show with all hope, it has to be a Olympia swallow.
Right.
Stuff. So there were like 68 Olympia qualifying shows that came out of 68 guys.
And then you could be like Burak and outwork everybody and win just basically off this. Which is
going everywhere and hitting everything.
Which you did. Which I know there was one podcast you did here I think you did 4 or 5 shows in Europe in night.
I would Italy, Spain, Portugal, Romania, then went back to Spain and another show in Spain. And then I did 10 shows Chicago, New York, Pittsburgh, Denver, South Carolina. So I was every.
I wonder
Jeez.
how you have a lot in
It's crazy. They did. I was going to go to Japan. That was 26 hours.
That's what I'm going to say. Super. The hours that I would totally do is I would go to Australia. Just so I could see all the check out Australia. I'm going to go 26 hours. I'll go to Australia for Hampton. And Japan would be cool too, though. Don't give that. So I get it.
I don't know about 26 hours, though. You need to knock me out, wake me up when I'm there, put me in a box.
Yeah, connection was that. It's great. It tells you 3 let's kick.
Yeah.
So tell everybody where obviously, where they can find you. You have quite an Instagram following, of course, but talk about the meal plans, the training. I mean, the training you're working on, the platform, the meal plan is now, and you have some training.
So the best way is Instagram, Burak King, IFBB Pro, that kind of don't help you need a plan. That's first. Don't help you plan. F1.
The best to don't come and have a head shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, but you do have the website.
You have the website. The website's on Instagram.
So all your links are in your bio, right? Yeah, so you want to contact Burak, you want to learn a little something about eating right, then you want to go ahead and check him out on Instagram. So that's the kind of thing you would like to do to follow. And other than that, anybody who wants to support him until he gets going for Olympia, he'll take those hands as well, right? Because he likes touching. But other than that, we do appreciate everybody's time once again. Don't forget to give us a little comments, subscribe, and share it everywhere you like. We are on Amazon, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, everywhere you look, especially Flagship Cannabis Radio. And until then, you actually go to PureWell. I don't want to lie about that, too. Go to PureWell and use code Hempire. You get 20% off. That's PURWELL.com. Code Hempire, HEMPIRE. And until then, next week, we'll see you then.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast, republication, or retransmission of this program without proper consent is prohibited.